August 10th, 1941. Much like Army Group North and Center, Army Group South is equally on a very tight and rigid time schedule. The encirclement east of Kiev is now tying up the entire 6th Army. The 17th Army is busy pursuing the enemy north and south of the Dnepr, while the 11th Army keeps advancing into eastern Ukraine. Once again, last week, the Red Army managed to pull back its forces in a likely attempt to establish a defensive line west of the Dnepr bend. There is, however, one place from which the Soviets did not escape, and this place is the besieged port of Odessa. Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new episode of War in the East 2, the last weekly episode for this week, in which as always we have a look at what happens in the sector of Army Group South. Here I decided to take care first of all of my logistics, and the best way to take care of the logistics is when the bulk of the troops have already, let's say, marched past the old depots of Lviv, Ternopil, Proskurov and Vinnytsia, is just to disband, in my opinion, is to disband the depots along the railway which are located on level 1 rail yards, because they are, let's say, absolutely useless, and they might consume and soak up some vehicles that could be needed elsewhere. And then also, instead of moving first the 6th Army, I decided to move the 1st Panzer Group and the 17th Army. The goal of the mobile units and of the 17th Army was just to wipe out the pocket between Kremenchug and Cherkassy. And again, I noticed that many Soviet units simply gave up after one single hasty attack, and most likely this has to do with the fact that the Soviet AI, from what I've seen, does not fly in freight with the canonical air transport mode in pockets which do not contain any airbase. And also and besides this, I don't know if the Soviet AI somehow shuffled its troops around within the pocket. Sometimes I've seen it happening when encircling a unit and seeing a rifle division, and then on next week observing that the rifle division was gone. I've also noticed that this reshuffling of the units inside the pockets can be quite detrimental for the units themselves. And then, as the Panzer units, namely the 3rd, the 14th and the 48th Motorized Army Corps, kept advancing eastwards, they stumbled into the new Soviet defensive line, which was right west of Dnipropetrovsk. And I don't know if this was like intentional from the Soviet AI point of view, but this was actually pretty smart to pull back so much. Why? Because on one hand, the AI was forcing me to consume and to, I would say, burn movement points by converting hexes, and at the same time the AI would ensure that the, let's say, units which fell back during, let's say, last week did have enough time to build up fortifications, and they could even build up fortifications, I would say, in this coming week, because my units were simply falling and lagging behind the schedule, because they simply could not advance too deep, at least the footborne infantry. But of course, again, it also doesn't make any sense to keep pushing forward with your panzer divisions when you don't have the supplies to sustain them, because again, my panzer divisions were now, I don't know, I think 10, 12, 15 hexes away from the closest rail yard based depot, and which again is, it's a little bit unfortunate when you have to play on the impossible and you have to micromanage the supply priority, and to also avoid burning all of your vehicles just because your panzers are too far away from the closest supply depot. I did assign some support units to the Romanians, just in preparation for the upcoming Battle of Odessa, because yeah, it's cool, it's nice to besiege Odessa, but it's sometimes you also have to take it. And I know that many of you will be like, "Oh my God, why are you using the Romanians to take Odessa?" Well, it's very simple, because I don't have enough Germans to, on one hand, advance into eastern Ukraine with the 11th Army, and at the same time take Odessa. I didn't want to, let's say, remove the assault status to the first Panzer Group and assign it to the 11th Army and then take Odessa, because for me it was just a waste of APs, administrative points. And so I said, you know what, screw it. The 4th Romanian Army will have the honor, hopefully one day, hopefully before the end of summer, to storm and take Odessa. And so I would say, with the advance of the German 11th Army into eastern Ukraine, and with the usual air resupply missions flying at the end of the turn. Folks, as always, I thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I wish you the best. As always, stay tuned for more. Leave a like and leave a comment if you want to. And, well, I hope to see you all again in 7 days.